My ideology of education is highly based on the experiences I encountered in my own personal education journey and how I would have liked to learn or be taught differently. The starting point for my thought process made me question, what is education for? Education is a process of living and not a preparation for future living, according to John Dewey. This is something my ideology specifically disagrees with, one of the key aspects being preparation for adulthood. Alongside preparation for adulthood, there are three other aspects I believe should be included in the ideology of education. Firstly, obtaining knowledge, secondly, developing social skills, and thirdly, growing as an individual. I have found that there is no one other ideology that supports the claims of my ideology, but each area can be supported separately. Maria Montessori focused on the independent aspects of my ideology, and as seen in this quote, believes a teacher is a facilitator of learning rather than an educator. The child is given the freedom of choice to some degree to enable their learning to suit them best. Montessori researched deeply into the methods of learning and the learning process of a child. I myself want to work in a special needs-based environment, and therefore the learning process is altered, and I find this highly interesting. Therefore, I am including this as part of my ideology, as I believe it is essential in an individual's education. Rudolf Steiner also focuses on individuality, but also incorporates the development of social skills in doing so. With the key aim of Steiner's research being the development of a person alongside the natural world, his methods disregard any religion, gender, or other connotations, but allowed a child to find themselves in the world. Social skills can aid a person in later life with communication skills and manners, and without these, a child can struggle in, for example, a workplace. Franklin Bobbitt, not an educator covered in this module, but one I found from my own reading, encompasses the preparation for adulthood, which I believe is highly disregarded in current education systems. Yes, children are educated with content of mathematics, literacy, science and humanities, but true preparation with regards to finances, taxes, mortgages, job applications are very much limited. In my schooling life, I was taught PSHE, which touched on these subjects, but not to the extent where I would feel closely prepared to be an adult, which is where you are when you leave education being 18. Your schooling should not focus on your life as a child, but switch to focus on the numerous years of life ahead of your school. However, the past three aspects have disregarded what I believe to be the main ideology of learning, knowledge. To me, without a doubt, knowledge should be the forefront of schooling. You learn information to enable you to decide your career, your interests, and what you would like your adulthood to look like. The Teaching Standards 2013 outlines this area of knowledge being the highlight in educational ideologies, with the teachers' standards being used to assess and qualify studying teachers. It is clearly essential in a child's development. To have a secure knowledge of the relevant subjects and curriculum areas is clearly stated as an element of teaching, and I couldn't agree more. When applying my ideology in a modern-day classroom, I think it is key that mixed responses to learning can be used by pupils as a result of one set aim. For example, if the subject area is the history of boats, children should be allowed to research and complete this piece of work in the methods they believe suit their learning best. For example, learning from books or videos or visiting a museum. This encompasses the 7 different styles of learning, which I will touch on in a moment. Another aspect of this individual approach would be teachers providing work tasks with mixed methods, which will aid the knowledge attainment of a child based on their learning style. As previously mentioned, there are 7 areas that are covered by learning styles. Auditory, learning most effectively from listening. Visual, learning most effectively from watching. And kinesthetic, learning most effectively from actions or doing something. These 3 areas can be linked together or in pairs to create the other 4 areas, which are a combination of styles. I believe these are key to my ideology, as it encompasses the individual and how they can develop, but also how the child can learn and gain knowledge. Maslow's hierarchy of needs supports the individual and social skills aspect of my ideology. A child needs friendships, family, safety, water, and other such items to accomplish what they want in life. This pyramid works by the lower levels being the basic needs of a person, which enable the higher levels to be accomplished, such as the feeling of accomplishment and confidence, which in turn encourage a creator of knowledge and attainment. Finally, a key area that influenced my inclusion of preparation for adulthood in my ideology was the statistics from UK Commission for Employment and Skills regarding how prepared for the world of work the recruits are from education. The statistics shocked me that the levels of preparation weren't significantly higher. 42% of 16-year-old school leavers going to attend sixth form, college or gain apprenticeships didn't feel prepared for adult life. Luckily, this number lowers to 30% of 17 to 18-year-old school leavers, but with some families being unable to support their children through university, going straight into work, finding other options that are financially easier on families limits their options. Especially when I was in sixth form, the talking of anything but university wasn't mentioned, which luckily for me was the route I chose to take, but for others they are very much left in the dark, and I think education should not be like that for anyone. Overall, my ideology is a mixture of all three educational ideologies: knowledge, society and individual. I believe they work hand in hand and are all required to achieve the greatest attainment and personal development.